Good afternoon. Sorry for the amount of announcements and emails that I keep sending you guys, but I did want to just send you a brief announcement to talk about the remainder of the assignments for this week. It's only one, and I'm starting here on our calendar just to show you that we are going to actually start Burke today, but we're going to finish him next week. In looking at what we were doing with Burke, one, I don't want to flatten him to the point where we are so abbreviated with him that we don't spend a little bit of time with his concepts. So I am breaking it up into two parts. So just to round out or take a look at our class calendar, next week we will continue with Burke. It is those same readings that you were working on for this week. Um, that will get published by Monday morning at 8 a.m. You'll notice then the subsequent weeks we are going to look at Foucault, we are going to look at Anzaldúa and Gates, and then we are going to look at Foss and Griffin. And that's going to round us out. We'll have a final exam review, and then we will have our final exam, obviously, online. Let me go over to the module real quick just to show you what it looks like, and let me get to student settings so you can see what I see, or I see what you see. So in our modules, if you go down to week 11, everything that you need is published. Again, you'll start here, but we are at the point we're here. So just I've published page 5 and 6. I do want to just show you briefly what page 5 does. Page 5 is not only is it the lesson, but it is actually a discussion board piece. So it's set up almost as a session for us. I've got some of the objectives or what we hope to gain as a result of this particular piece. There's a brief introduction regarding what this does, and then there are directions. So I can read this real quick. Introduction: as you may have encountered, Kenneth Burke's work is packed with concepts and ideas that we could spend several solid semesters unpacking. While that is certainly not feasible for us, we will be spending the next two sessions together framing out Burke's key concepts. So please read the directions of this session to complete the discussion board by Sunday. So I did extend it. We'll just go into the weekend with this. Um, so the directions are pretty cut and dry, hopefully. You're going to watch the video lecture below, which is right here. One, I want to apologize for the length, but again, this is our brief introduction of Burke, and just as one concept. So the second part of Burke will actually be posted next week. The video is the first in a series of two. Again, the next one will be next week. So you're only focused on this one video for the discussion board that's due on Sunday. It's just this one piece, which is definition of man. So once you finish with the video, you've got your notes. Watch it as many times as you'd like because you know it's riveting. Just kidding. You're going to complete the discussion board. So your post looks like this. You're going to find and post an artifact that you would want to use to analyze Burke's definition of man, right? It could be a video. I would say videos, keep it brief. It could be a news article, a meme, anything that you can choose to focus on one of the clauses or claims of the definition of man, or a combination of more, right? In analyzing it, you may want to look at multiple. So along with the artifact, you'll compose a discussion that analyzes it through the lens of Burke's definition of man. In other words, how does this artifact embody Burke's ideas as discussed in definition of man? And then you're going to be very specific with your analysis. So in looking at that, just like we would do in a discussion in class. So in summary, your post should include the artifact as well as the written text that analyzes your chosen artifact through the lens of Burke's definition of man. And the post should be right around 250 words. I see it's not in there, but it will be right around 250 words. Your responses, 50 to 75 words each. You're going to respond to at least two classmates. Again, this is a discussion board, so you want to keep that conversation going. Once you've watched the video, composed your post, responded to at least classmates, you're finished with this session and assignment. So that's what this is. I always put a kind of a checklist. So this week's kind of goals, assignments are as follows. You did the online check-in. You got that to me by Monday. You did the peer review workshop or in the process of the peer review workshop. You've got the QQC, and then finally this Burke discussion board. Okay, so those are the pieces and parts, and that's what this will look like for the remainder. So the next module will be published by Monday at 8 a.m. and it will consist of part 2 of Burke and that assignment, as well as the assignment to go ahead and submit the final draft of your project 2. So I'll send more video updates a little bit later, trying to transition us a little bit slowly. And I know that you're probably got a ton of things on your plate. So please reach out if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'm happy to have conversations via email, phone call, anything we need to do to make this as painless of a transition as possible. So have a great weekend and a great rest of your week. Thanks.